Hello dear friends and welcome to the weekly vlog. In this video I want to talk to you about worrying and how to escape struggle and worry. Stay tuned, I will talk to you about this right away. So basically we worry and we struggle through worrying when our energy drops. And when our energy drops, we start accumulating some kind of heaviness inside of us. And many times the result of this heaviness is to start having this kind of anxiety, this kind of worrying. And this worrying, when we are in this state, we start seeing things negatively. So I want to give you today a few tips about this and to understand what you can actually do, because if you will allow this to take over your life, you are going to take the downward spiral, and you don't want this, especially in today's conditions. This is what I'm teaching to all my students, and I would like to give you this advice to become able to shift and turn your life upside down and go forward instead of backwards. So one of the reasons that our energy becomes more heavy and we start taking this downward spiral is because we don't give enough to ourselves. I will explain you what does it mean. Many times we think that we give enough or some things to ourselves to feel better, but these things that we give to ourselves are like instant gratification or momentarily pleasures, and we don't give really to ourselves these things that empower us. For many years, this is like one of the main messages that I give to people. Sometimes you need to take the right path, not the easy path. Sometimes there is this thing that you take an easy path that gives you instant gratification, some kind of pleasure in the moment, but in reality, in essence, it disempowers you, right? And it makes you feel after like heavier and drains your personal power, your confidence, and makes you more heavy. But many times we choose this because it's more easy in the moment. Okay, so how can you avoid this trap of instant gratification? You need to proactively empower yourself before this moment that you become needy and you search for an easy escape. By doing this, you will be able to start giving to yourself the things that you need. Of course, there are things that you should give to yourself that are pleasurable. For example, you can give yourself some time to rest if you are burning out yourself. And this kind of resting will not be like wasting of your time. For example, there are two types of resting. Let's say somebody is thinking, I have to rest to get away from stress, from worrying too much about my business problems, for example. And what does he do? He starts taking one day off to do what he wants, and this what he wants is watching all day videos or YouTube or playing computer games or drinking or something like this. And in the end, after this kind of vacation in quotations, you are not empowered. Yes, momentarily it's like you forgot about your worries, but when this day of resting in quotations pass, you find yourself more heavy, more weak, more disempowered, and the problems come back and hit you, and now it is more difficult to engage with your issues. You start worrying more. So you had one day escape, and the second day you worry even more. But what I'm talking to you about is, for example, instead of doing this, you could take one day to rest, go for fishing, go for walking, go for a small excursion, swim, go to the lake, go to, do something, go to have a massage, go to a mini seminar. And then while doing this, it's an active, powerful kind of vacation or action for yourself, and this will empower you. And when this finishes, the next day you will go to engage with your daily life with more energy, more positivity, more creativity, and everything will seem to you more easy. You will be motivated to continue your efforts, or you will be motivated to change something in your life. So choose this kind of gift to yourself and not give yourself some pleasure that actually drains your power. A second reason why we lose our power and become more heavy is because we worry about things that we don't have actually power over. For example, you can worry about the weather, about the government, about some global disease like the COVID, and things like that that we don't have power over. We cannot do anything to change the situation. For example, you may worry that you are losing your hair, or you may worry that you are getting older and stuff like that. What you can do is change worrying about things that you don't have control over to act upon things that you have control over. For example, you cannot change the weather, the global warming, you cannot change it. But if you feel, for example, that you are getting weaker and more old, you can start doing something for your physical health and body in order to become more young, more active, more strong. Something like eating healthier, exercising, going to nature, doing some retreats to empower yourself, something like that. If you worry about the global economy, for example, you cannot do something about the global economy except if you are the president of some country, but you can take some measurements for your own finances to secure. You can start controlling your expenses and things like that. So you become again active or proactive towards the things that you can control. One of the main reasons that people worry too much and they become anxious and struggle is because they worry and think for a long time about things that they cannot do anything about. And this is like a habit of the mind, because through this it can keep you eternally occupied thinking about things because you cannot solve them. For example, thinking about who controls the world, which powers control the world, like something like conspiracy theories, or do aliens exist, and worry that aliens will come one day and kidnap you or something. Man, there are people who worry about germs or about possible diseases that you could potentially get. These are things that you cannot directly control. Okay, so stop worrying about these things, but if it is a habit for you, you need to do something. Again, what you need is to empower yourself, because this actually is a habit, and the habits that we got from the past in our life and we still carry them, they become active, they appear, these things that makes us worry, they don't appear every single day. If they appear every single day from the morning until night, yes, you need a serious therapy. But if you are not in this category, usually they come into circles. Yes? An astrologer will tell you that these things appear, if he knows, when you have negative aspects, astrological, which is partially literal, partially metaphorical. So they appear when you have, generally, they do a circle when you have a weaker energy. When your energy drops, you are not so empowered in this moment, these bad habits start circulating, they start surfacing, and you start thinking negatively. And in this moment, you start worrying about things that you cannot control. So, again, the secret is empower yourself. This is like my whole philosophy and the whole teaching that I give to my students, and we have tremendous result until now, is to empower proactively yourself, like constantly to empower yourself in different ways, so that these moments come less and less in your life, and you acquire habits of being actively directing your life into the direction that you want it to take. For example, create powerful intentions. Yes, there are techniques and methods that you can build your intention and direct your energy towards a higher point that you would like to be there in the future. You would like to become something like that, and then constantly cultivate and building this ladder to arrive there with many, many ways. This is something you have to do, otherwise you will have, your energy will be in a circle, the same circle all the time, and when your energy drops, these bad habits of worrying and getting stressed all the time will be repeating themselves like regularly. Another thing today you can do to stop to diminish struggle in the world is to reduce the quantity and to choose in a different way to use social media, basically. One source of negativity is when we usually waste our time and our life scrolling in social media. Social media is a great tool if you use it with a purpose, because it's a tool of communication. But if you use it because you feel weak, so it's like an escape from this weak part that is surfacing. So you start becoming unconscious by scrolling and wasting your time in the social media, or binge watching YouTube videos, for example. It is like numbing yourself, forgetting your problems. This is like the first thing that I told you, when you do something that actually after it makes you feel worse. So in this moment, you feel that you are like making some kind of a break, and actually after you feel bad. Also because you see everybody in the social media posting something positive. Of course, nobody will post something negative for himself. And the moment that you feel weak, scrolling social media to escape from your negative thoughts, watching everybody smiling, you start feeling after that you are the only one that has it so bad. And this disempowers you and make you start struggling even more psychologically. So this is a bad habit. Learn to use social media with a purpose, to learn something, to communicate with somebody, to get some news, to see what is happening in the world, but not what is happening in the personal life of everyone. Okay, and basically comparing yourself all the time with the others. This will destroy you completely. So it's something like a big enemy. You have to stop this. A fourth tip I can give you that will help you a lot to diminish the heavy energy in you and diminish worrying and struggling, it is breathing exercises. There are techniques, and generally you can do breathing exercises in many ways. The most simple is to just take deep breaths and exhale your stress, your anxiety. This is very basic. Or go to nature. If you go to nature around trees and stuff like that, this is why we go, for example, our seminars, we have them usually in the mountains. As now, I will invite you in the end of the video to our next event. But in the ancient times, for example, in my country in Greece, Aristotle had this kind of school. I hope you know Aristotle, he was teaching all his students by walking in nature. His school was called a walking school. Exactly like this, walking school. So the teachings, all the teachings were happening in the nature. Also, this is a shamanic knowledge. Many times the shamans take the apprentices for hikes in the mountains. Why? Because when we are in the mountain, in the nature, we receive a lot of energy through the oxygen and through the prana, which is very much in nature. We absorb this energy, our energy rises, and our mind becomes clear from heavy thoughts and heaviness. So for teaching purposes, we can understand, for example, things much better. We have like higher vibration. Our consciousness is raised. Okay, so you need to breathe more energy, and you know, it's a habit in the today's world. People breathe in a shallow way. So learn breathing techniques and practices, and this will help you a lot to clean your heaviness, and it's a very good method to avoid thinking badly and worrying. And the last tip I have for you in this video, which empowers you very much, is to spend time with friends, real friends, and like-minded people, people who have good positive energy. Communication between people is a very big healing process. When you do this, this will heal you a lot, will take a lot of your burdens. You know, when you talk to your friend, for example, about your problems, you feel better after. If you have good friends, family members that you have good relationship with, gatherings with people that empower you, give you positive energy, anything like this, communication with people who have a positive direction towards life and towards you, this will help you a lot to eliminate worrying, and it will boost your life to the maximum level. It is something that you have to take seriously in your life and always search to find the people that empower you and be among this kind of people, and not spend the time with people that project their fears, their doubts, and they are afraid that if you will grow, something bad will happen to you. Or generally the people with whom we have bad relationships, conflicts, and so on. All this multiplies very much your worry, your inner struggle, and the opposite, if you find the opposite type of people, or if you have a mentor, is even the best. This will empower you into the maximum, and it will diminish many times the worry, and because we all need people that empower us around us. I invite you to our event in Romania that we have now in June 9th to 13, I think, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, yes, 9 to 13 of June, 5 days, 4 nights in the Romanian mountains in Busteni area, where we will engage 5 days in very big empowerment transformation, and we will do all this that I talked to you about. So with the purpose to go out of this event empowered, having destroyed a very big part of anxiety and worry and struggle internally, and open the path for our future to make many steps forward. There will be a lot of teachings there about how to deal with worry, stress, anxiety, how to heal ourselves, and how to help ourselves and other people, and create a synergy, construct our life in such a way that we have synergy, so that constantly our energy will be growing. Because from now on, we will need only to empower ourselves, because you see, the problems in the world will be becoming more and more. We need to find very powerful ways and connections with people that constantly empower us. If you will not do this, you will find soon that life will start pushing you very hard. So it's not the moment to relax when things go well. Even if you have a good period, the life generally in the world is going harder and harder with all these that are happening, and will happen more. I'm saying this all the time to my students. So for your own good, take this advice seriously. I invite you to our event in 9 with 13 of June, Wow Academy Retreat, to learn how to empower yourself and heal yourself, and help also others that will help you back to be more strong in your life. This is what I wanted to talk to you about in this video. I wish you the best. I hope to see you all in Busteni Mountains in Romania retreat that we have. It will be amazing retreat. The link of this event is in the description below the video. I will see you soon with the next weekly vlog. I wish you to stay hungry for knowledge and motivation. Have a great week. See you soon.